Am I secretly working for Cargill or some other giant meat processing company? That is sort of being alluded to by one and only Mr. Frank Tufano again. So, I believe in excluding negativity from your life and excluding negative people. And, I just went ahead and blocked Frank from all my social media stuff. I won't be responding further. This will be the last thing I address with this guy. I mean, hopefully someday when his testicles descend and he finishes going through puberty, he'll have some better perspective here. But I mean, we gave him the opportunity. The last video said, Frank, grow up, be accepted by the community. If you want to know why you're being excluded from the community, because you're a fucking dick. I mean, that's why. I mean, you act like you're God's gift to the world, and you expect everybody to bow down to your knowledge. Listen, man, you fucking little punk. I mean, that's what you are. It's just sad to see, you out there claiming you've been a carnivore for 7 years. I mean, people have been in this community for a long time. 10 years, never even heard of you until a few years ago. So if you were doing it deceptively, probably lying about that most likely would be my guess. Just trying to gather your sort of attempt at fame. I mean, you are very sadly lacking in some basic knowledge. I can tell, when I interviewed you, you were extremely weak on a number of areas. I didn't point that out at the time just because I'm a nice, gracious guy. I've got a background of medical school, physiology, biology degree, 20 years as a medical practitioner, friggin' trauma surgeon. I've been there, I've done that. The other thing is, there's a way to interact with people. You learn that as a skill. You don't have that. So if you want to know why you've been excluded, and you've just further distanced yourself, you've burned any bridges you possibly have, certainly with me. But back to the point about the Cargill stuff. Now, I have a podcast, Human Performance Outliers podcast. Hopefully, some of you guys listen to that. Look at the guests we've hosted. We've had Alan Savory on. We've had Joel Salatin on. We've had Bart Simmons from the 2S Ranch in Texas. We've had Bobby Gill on from the Savory Institute. I mean, we've had guest after guest on talking about the benefits of not only grass-finished beef, but regeneratively raised beef. I've been promoting that, talking about that for a long time here. I don't get any funding from Cargill. I wish I did. Hell, they got a lot of money, I worry that Cargill is buying into friggin' Beyond Meat and other crap, and I've mentioned that and talked about that, and I don't agree. This is a thing, talking about shit meat, and your quote unquote every meat out there is awful. Well, I'll tell you what, most people can't afford grass finished beef. Most people can't afford that right now. That's just the truth of the matter. And to tell people that eating meat from the grocery store is somehow going to kill you or poison you or make you sick is completely not helpful. There are so many people that could benefit from that relative to the other food they're eating. And I think it's disgusting that we sit there and try to pretend that is some kind of poison, that we shouldn't eat that. I mean, if that's what you can afford, and we've seen that time and time again. We see that with all kinds of people in this carnivore community that have been doing this for far longer than me, you, or anybody else. Been doing it just fine on supermarket meat that they can afford. So to sit there and say that we are supporting this, the only thing I'm supporting is human health and what works for people. Now, should we transition away from industrialized meat production, or at least go back to a more regenerative style? Absolutely, I'm fully supportive of that. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take years, if not decades, to make that happen, if it happens. First of all, we've got to convince people to get off the plant-based train, because that's the biggest problem we have. Not, trying to get people that are already eating meat to sit there and say that all meat is bad unless it comes from, Frankie the retard's, his specialty meat is the only one that's any good. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's, you talk about trying to make a profit. That's what this guy does, and so it's ridiculous. All right, I'm done with the guy. I'm not going to respond to any questions about him. If he, I'm not going to go out of my way at all to help the guy. I tried to in the past, no more. If he wanted to have some inroads into the community, whatever he calls the community, I don't know what he means by the community. He's in there, shitting on the keto community, shitting on other people. That's the way to win win friends and influence people. So anyway, All right, guys. I'm not going to make more videos on this stupid topic. This guy is not worth the time. You guys, if you like following him, follow him. If you like his stuff, if you like him dressing up in costumes and making fun of people, that's fun. That's exciting. That's entertaining. I get it. Him out, reading the latest study and telling you about the latest nutrient profile. It's really exciting. But I will tell you honestly, it's about helping people and getting results. And all this theoretical stuff about you have to eat X amount of this or that to make the diet work. That's all garbage mostly. I mean, most people do fine steak and water and they're completely fine. That's just the way it is. It's the way it works. People trying to overly complicate things, trying to sell their product, trying to sell, the fact that their meat is better than everyone else's meat or something like that. It's just garbage. It really is. And it's frustrating for people out there that are just trying to get healthy and they don't need this bickering and infighting. If it's up to me, get over whatever meat you can afford. If you can afford a better quality of meat, if you want to help out the environment, buy regenerative stuff, and that's just the bottom line. But don't pretend that you're going from Oreos to, eating Oreos is the same thing as eating a steak from the grocery store. It's just not. I mean, it's clearly different. Okay. All right, guys. Hopefully this will be the last bit of negativity we'll deal with on this topic. Like I said, he's been blocked from my social media stuff. I'm not going to respond to any comments or questions you guys have about the guy. I think he's, basically in it for reasons that aren't particularly there to help people. I'm going to continue to try to help people and do what I can. And this is what it's about. And if I can make an income from doing that, I'm going to do that as well. I mean, no one begrudges you for operating on people and making a good living. Why should people begrudge you for helping people with lifestyle nutrition, making a good living? So anyway, on a positive note, Animal-Based Nutrition Network should be going soon. I've got another sort of venture in the works as well, which will be exciting, probably with hopefully some Silicon Valley investments coming into this stuff. So we're going to have an impact, folks, and we've got some really exciting stuff coming up down the road. I'll let you guys know more as that stuff starts to evolve. But yeah, that's it. Anyway, so anyway, done on this topic. We'll talk to you guys about stuff that actually matters next time. Okay, take care, guys. Bye-bye.